In a small village called Kalihar, nestled between green fields and rolling hills, lived a boy named Arav Mishra. Unlike most children who spent their days flying kites or herding cattle, Arav was fascinated by the game of cricket. His fascination began when he saw a match being played on an old, crackling TV in a neighbor's house. The sight of players in white uniforms, the roar of the crowd, and the grace with which they wielded the bat and ball captivated him. Among them, the legendary batsman Virendra Sen left an indelible mark on Arav's young mind. Watching Sen play with elegance and determination, Arav decided, "I want to be a cricketer." With no proper cricket ground in Kalihar, Arav began practicing with whatever he could find. His bat was a piece of carved wood, and his ball was a bundle of rags tied together. He would set up a stack of bricks as stumps and spend hours perfecting his shots and bowling against a wall. His friends teased him, calling his dreams city boy fantasies. But Arav remained undeterred. "I may be from a small village, but dreams have no boundaries," he often told himself. Arav's family was poor. His father worked as a farmer, and his mother stitched clothes to make ends meet. Arav's passion for cricket was seen as a distraction. "You should focus on your studies and help in the fields," his father would say. But Arav had a burning desire to prove that his love for cricket could lead to something bigger. Every morning before sunrise, he would complete his chores, feeding the cattle and collecting water, before sneaking away to practice. One day, while practicing, he tore the only pair of shoes he owned. With no money to buy a new pair, Arav continued playing barefoot, his feet blistered but his spirit unbroken. The turning point came when a traveling cricket coach, Mr. Ravi Kapoor, visited Kalihar to scout talent. Arav, despite his lack of proper equipment, impressed Mr. Kapoor with his raw talent and determination. "You have something special, Arav," the coach said, "but talent alone isn't enough. You need training, discipline, and exposure." Mr. Kapoor convinced Arav's parents to send him to a cricket academy in the nearby town. It was a decision that changed Arav's life, but came at a cost. His parents sold a part of their land to pay for his initial training. Arav, understanding the sacrifice, vowed to work harder than ever. At the academy, Arav faced tough competition. He lacked the polished skills and equipment of other boys who came from affluent backgrounds. Yet, his hunger to succeed set him apart. He practiced tirelessly, often staying on the field long after others had left. "You can't control where you come from, but you can control how hard you work," Arav reminded himself. Arav's dedication paid off when he was selected for the district-level team. His performances were nothing short of spectacular. He had an uncanny ability to read bowlers and adapt his game under pressure. Journalists started calling him the Phoenix, symbolizing his rise from humble beginnings. However, the journey was far from smooth. During a crucial state-level match, Arav fractured his wrist while attempting a diving catch. Doctors advised him to rest for 6 months, but Arav couldn't afford to stay out of the game for that long. He spent weeks in recovery, watching matches, analyzing players, and visualizing his return. When he finally stepped back onto the field, he was more determined than ever. His hard work culminated in him being selected for the state team, and later, he earned a spot in the national under-19 squad. Years later, Arav Mishra made his international debut, donning the Indian cricket jersey. As he stood on the field, the national anthem playing, tears welled up in his eyes. He remembered the days of playing with a ragged ball, the scolding from his father, the sacrifices his parents made, and the blisters on his feet. In his post-match interview after scoring a century, Arav said, "Dreams are like cricket balls. Sometimes they bounce unpredictably, sometimes they spin, but if you stay focused and play with heart, you can hit them out of the park. My journey taught me that perseverance and gratitude can turn the impossible into reality." After years of relentless hard work, Arav Mishra's name became synonymous with resilience and excellence in cricket. His rise from a small village to the national team inspired millions. Arav went on to break several records, including the fastest century in international cricket, and was named Player of the Year in his 3rd season with the national team. But Arav's story didn't just end with personal accolades. Remembering his roots, he decided to give back to the community that shaped him. He started the Dreamers Cricket Academy in Kalihar, offering free training and equipment to underprivileged children with big dreams. The academy became a beacon of hope, nurturing talents who, like Arav, lacked resources but possessed immense potential. In an emotional match played in his hometown, Arav scored a match-winning century, dedicating it to his parents and the village that never stopped believing in him. As he stood on the podium holding the Man of the Match trophy, Arav said, "Success isn't just about achieving your dreams, it's about inspiring others to chase theirs. I started with nothing but a dream and determination. And today, I see hundreds of young Aravs in this crowd ready to take on the world. This is the true victory." Arav's legacy went far beyond the boundaries of a cricket field, proving that passion, perseverance, and a big heart could change not only one life but countless others. So friends, Arav's story is no doubt an inspiration for countless young dreamers across the country, proving that no dream is too big for those who dare to chase it.
Alex Carter grew up in a small town where opportunities were limited. His father worked multiple jobs to make ends meet, and his mother often reminded him that hard work and self-respect were the keys to a fulfilling life. From a young age, Alex had a fascination with cars. He'd spend hours in a neighbor's garage, watching the local mechanic work. Though he dreamed of owning his own workshop someday, Alex knew the road wouldn't be easy. After high school, Alex couldn't afford college. Instead, he took up an apprenticeship at a nearby auto repair shop. He started with the most basic tasks, cleaning tools, changing tires, and shadowing senior mechanics. The pay was minimal, and the work was grueling, but Alex never complained. The first few years of Alex's career were tough. He often worked long hours in poorly lit garages, earning just enough to cover rent and meals. He faced judgments from friends who had gone to college and belittling comments from others who didn't see mechanics as successful. But Alex never wavered. His turning point came when he realized the value of continuous learning. He enrolled in night classes to learn advanced automotive diagnostics and the latest car technologies. It wasn't easy juggling work and studies, but Alex believed that investing in himself was the best decision he could make. With new skills under his belt, Alex started taking on more responsibilities. Customers appreciated his honesty, attention to detail, and willingness to explain the repairs in simple terms. Word spread about his dedication, and soon, Alex had saved enough to open a small garage of his own. Even then, the struggles didn't end. Running a business came with its challenges, managing finances, handling difficult clients, and competing with larger shops. But Alex didn't let setbacks define him. He focused on building relationships with customers, offering quality service, and keeping up with industry trends. Over time, his garage grew, and so did his reputation. Today, Alex owns a thriving car showroom and service center. He employs several mechanics and mentors young apprentices, just as he was once mentored. His journey taught us invaluable lessons. First of all, respect every profession. There's dignity in every job, whether you're fixing engines or running a company. Hard work deserves respect. Always invest in yourself, skills are your greatest assets. Keep learning, and no one can take that away from you. It's important to stay resilient. There will be days when you want to give up, but keep going. Success doesn't come easy, but it's worth the effort. Last but not the least, financial independence matters. Being financially independent is empowering. It doesn't matter if you're a mechanic, an artist, or an entrepreneur. What matters is that you stand on your own feet. So, to everyone listening, never underestimate the power of your dreams, no matter how small they may seem to others. Whether you're fixing cars, painting walls, or working in an office, your work has value. Success isn't about flashy titles or degrees, it's about finding pride in what you do, staying true to yourself, and building a life of independence. Remember, respect comes from how you carry yourself, not what you do. So, chase your goals with determination, learn from every struggle, and always honor your journey. Like Alex, you can turn those struggles into success, one step at a time. Alex Carter's story is a testament to resilience, dedication, and the belief that every job has dignity. It's a reminder to us all, no dream is too small, and no profession is undeserving of respect. If you found inspiration in my story and want to see more, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support means the world to me and helps me share more lessons, tips, and motivation with all of you. Let's keep building a community that celebrates hard work, passion, and independence. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hello, I'm Alira, and I want to share something with you that took me years to truly understand. Life doesn't wait for us to be ready. It doesn't wait for us to feel perfect, or for the perfect moment to show up. I spent a long time believing my worth was defined by how much I could give to others, whether it was my family, my partner, or my job. I believed that if I just kept sacrificing, I'd find fulfillment. But I was wrong. What I've learned from my struggles and mistakes is this: you can't pour from an empty cup. We are not defined by how much we can give or what others expect from us. True strength comes when we take the time to prioritize ourselves, our dreams, our health, and our passions. It's not selfish. It's essential. Today, I stand here as someone who has rediscovered herself. I'm not perfect, and that's okay, but I've learned to love myself, to set boundaries, and to follow my own path. So, if you're watching this and you feel like you've been putting everyone else before you, this is your wake-up call. Start putting yourself first.
Alira was an ordinary woman living an extraordinary struggle. Born in a small conservative town, she was taught from an early age that a woman's worth came from sacrificing for others, her family, her community, her relationships. Dreams were a luxury she could not afford. But deep inside, Alira always felt a spark, a quiet voice whispering, "There's more for you out there." By her mid-20s, Alira found herself married to a man who saw her as an accessory, not an equal. She juggled a full-time job, unpaid housework, and societal expectations, leaving no time for herself. She buried her passion for art, the one thing that made her feel alive, as her days blurred into a routine of obligations. One day, Alira's health began to decline. Stress, exhaustion, and self-neglect took their toll. She ignored the warning signs, convincing herself that others needed her more than she needed herself. But the breaking point came one rainy evening when she collapsed while cooking dinner for her family. At the hospital, the doctor's words hit her like a storm. "If you keep neglecting yourself, your body won't be able to keep up. You're running on empty." It was a wake-up call. For the first time, Alira realized she had spent her entire life putting others first, and it was costing her everything. During her recovery, Alira started journaling, a habit she'd long forgotten. She began asking herself tough questions. What makes me happy? What are my dreams? Who am I beyond the roles I play for others? She realized that prioritizing herself wasn't selfish, it was necessary. With every word she wrote, Alira began to rediscover the girl who once loved painting, the woman who dreamed of traveling the world, the soul who longed for freedom. Alira made a bold decision. She started setting boundaries with her family and partner, carving out time for her art and self-care. It wasn't easy. She faced guilt, resistance, and judgment from those who were used to her saying yes to everything. But she stood firm, choosing herself for the first time in her life. Fast forward a few years, and Alira is no longer the woman who once lived on autopilot. She's now an accomplished artist,
with her paintings showcased in galleries worldwide. Her story of transformation has inspired countless women to take charge of their lives.
Ladies, it's time to stop living for everyone else and start living for yourself. You are not just a mother, a wife, a daughter, or an employee. You are a person with dreams, passions, and a purpose. Prioritize yourself and watch how your life transforms. Self-love isn't selfish, it's the foundation of everything else. To all the young girls and women out there, you don't need permission to put yourself first. You are enough. You always have been. If I can do it, so can you. Take that first step toward loving yourself today. It's the most important decision you'll ever make. You deserve it. Believe in your own worth, chase your dreams, and most importantly, take care of your heart, because when you do, the rest of your life falls into place. Let's take this journey together. You are more than enough, and it's time you realize that.
In the quaint little town of Willowbrook, there lived a young artist named Amara. Amara had a love for painting that was as deep as the sea and as vibrant as the colors she used. Her cozy studio was filled with canvases, each telling a story of its own. Some were of majestic mountains kissed by the morning sun, others of bustling markets alive with energy, and a few of calm, serene lakes under a blanket of stars. Amara's art was her voice. She painted her emotions, dreams, and even her fears. Her dream was simple: to open an art gallery where people could come and experience the world through her eyes. When the day finally came, Amara's gallery, named Canvas of Dreams, opened to the public. She had spent months preparing, pouring her heart into every detail. The walls were adorned with her best works, each piece carefully selected to tell a part of her journey. As the guests trickled in, Amara's heart swelled with excitement and nervousness. Many admired her work, praising her unique style and the emotions her paintings evoked. A few even purchased her pieces, leaving her overjoyed. But not everyone shared the same enthusiasm. In one corner of the gallery stood a man named Victor, dressed in a sharp suit. He was known in Willowbrook for his blunt opinions. As he studied Amara's paintings, his expression remained unchanged. Finally, he turned to her and said, "Your work is interesting, but it's not for me. Too chaotic, too emotional. It lacks the precision and technique I value." Amara's heart sank. She had worked so hard, and here was someone dismissing her art as if it were a scribble. But before she could respond, Victor had already moved on. That night, Amara sat alone in her studio, replaying Victor's words. Doubt began to creep in. What if others felt the same? What if her art wasn't good enough? The next day, Amara decided to visit her grandmother, Clara, who had always been her source of wisdom. Clara listened patiently as Amara poured out her feelings. "Not everyone liked Picasso's work, you know," Clara said with a gentle smile. "Or Van Gogh's, yet they changed the world of art. Amara, your art is a reflection of who you are. It's not meant to please everyone. It's meant to connect with those who see the world as you do. And that's enough." Amara nodded slowly, the weight on her heart lifting just a little. Clara's words stayed with her as she returned to her gallery. She realized that Victor's opinion, while valid, didn't define her or her work. In the weeks that followed, Amara's gallery began attracting more visitors. Some loved her work, others didn't. But what mattered most was the connection she made with those who did. She met a young girl who dreamed of becoming an artist, an elderly couple who found peace in her paintings, and a writer who said her art inspired his latest novel. One day, Victor returned to the gallery. This time, he brought a friend. As Amara greeted them, Victor said, "I still don't get your art, but my friend here loves it. I thought she'd appreciate it more than I do." Amara smiled. She had learned that not everyone would resonate with her work, and that was okay. Her art wasn't for everyone, but for those it touched, it was a gift. Amara continued to paint, her confidence growing with each stroke. Her gallery became a place where people from all walks of life came together, not because everyone liked her art, but because it made them feel something: joy, peace, inspiration. Amara discovered that seeking universal approval is a futile effort. What truly matters is staying authentic to oneself and embracing the unique connections we make along the way. So friends, Amara's story reminds us that not everyone will like us, and that's perfectly fine. When we focus on our passions and stay true to who we are, we attract the right people and leave a meaningful impact. Be yourself. Your light will shine brightest for those meant to see it.
Amara had always been different. At 25 years old, weighing 120 kilograms, she was accustomed to being the center of unwanted attention. Every stare in the market, every whispered remark at a family gathering, felt like a dagger. Her relatives often said, "You'd be so pretty if you just lost some weight." Strangers in the street would chuckle, as if her body was a joke meant for public consumption. But the sharpest sting came from within. Amara often stared at her reflection, wondering if she'd ever be enough in a world so fixated on appearances. She tried to blend into the background, wearing oversized clothes and avoiding mirrors. One day, after a particularly cruel incident at a wedding where a group of guests mocked her size, Amara locked herself in her room, tears streaming down her face. But as she looked at her reflection, something changed. "Why do I let them decide my worth?" she whispered to herself. That day, she made a promise, not to lose weight, but to prove that her value was not tied to her body. Amara had always loved art. As a child, she would spend hours sketching flowers, animals, and faces, losing herself in the world of color and creativity. But life's harsh judgments had buried that passion. Now, she decided to dig it up. She bought a set of paints and canvases, and for the first time in years, she began to paint. Her initial works were hesitant, shaky even. But with every stroke of the brush, she felt more alive. Her art became her escape, a way to express her emotions, her dreams, and her struggles. She started sharing her paintings on social media, hoping they'd resonate with someone. To her surprise, they did. Comments flooded in, "This is breathtaking. You're so talented. Your art speaks to me." For the first time, she was seen not for her body, but for her soul. Encouraged by the response, Amara began hosting small exhibitions. At first, people came out of curiosity, drawn by her vibrant paintings. But soon, word spread. Critics praised her work, describing it as raw, emotional, and deeply human. Her art told stories of struggle and self-acceptance. One painting depicted a large, winged figure soaring above a crowd of onlookers, a powerful metaphor for her journey. In just a few years, Amara became a celebrated artist. Her name graced magazines, her paintings adorned gallery walls, and she was invited to speak at events. She spoke openly about her journey, inspiring countless others to embrace their uniqueness. Though she was still 120 kilograms, she no longer hid behind oversized clothes. Amara carried herself with confidence, her radiant smile disarming even the harshest critic. When someone asked, "Have you thought about losing weight?" she would laugh and say, "Why should I? My wings aren't measured by my body." Amara's life was now full of color, joy, and purpose. She proved to herself, and the world, that beauty lies not in a reflection, but in passion, talent, and the courage to be yourself. So friends, Amara's story reminds us that society's narrow definitions of beauty and success don't define our worth. Your body doesn't limit you, your belief in yourself does. True confidence comes from embracing who you are and focusing on your unique gifts. You are beautiful in every way, not because of how you look, but because of the light and talent within you. When you embrace your wings, whatever they may be, you'll discover that you can soar higher than anyone ever imagined. Enjoyed Amara's inspiring journey? Let her story remind you that beauty and strength come from within. If you felt motivated, Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, Stories That Shine, for more powerful stories of resilience and transformation. Let's celebrate the beauty in all of us. See you in the next video.
It was a scorching summer afternoon in a small, bustling town, where 17-year-old Armin stormed into his grandfather's workshop. His face was red, his fists clenched, and his breath came in short bursts. He had just returned from the market, where he'd been humiliated in front of a crowd after an argument with another boy, Aman. "I'm never going back there again," Armin exclaimed, his voice trembling with frustration. "Aman embarrassed me. He mocked me and everyone laughed. I should have hit him to shut him up." Grandfather Riaz, a retired carpenter with a calm demeanor and kind eyes, looked up from his woodworking tools. He put down the piece of wood he had been carving and gestured for Armin to sit down. "Anger is like fire, my boy, Grandfather," Riaz said softly. "It can either warm you or burn everything around you to ashes. Which one are you going to let it be?" Armin slumped into a chair, still fuming. "But what should I have done? Let him insult me?" Grandfather Riaz nodded, thoughtfully. "Let me tell you a story. Many years ago," Riaz began, "there was a farmer who owned a young bull known for its fiery temper. Every time it got angry, it would charge at anything in its path, causing damage to the farm and injuring the other animals. One day, the farmer decided to teach the bull a lesson. He tied it near a large tree and placed a heavy iron ball nearby. Whenever the bull got angry and charged, it struck the iron ball and hurt itself. At first, the bull didn't understand. It continued to attack, its anger consuming it. But over time, the pain made it stop and think. Eventually, the bull learned that not every situation required a reaction. Instead of attacking, it started observing and thinking first. The bull grew into a calm, wise creature, respected by the other animals. The farmer often said, "The bull learned that the only fight worth engaging in is the one that protects, not destroys." Armin listened intently, his anger slowly dissipating. Grandfather Riaz leaned closer and said, "Anger, like that iron ball, can hurt us more than the person we aim it at. Aman's words were like the heavy ball, provoking you. But your reaction determines whether you get hurt or rise above it." Armin nodded but remained skeptical. "But how do I control it when I feel it bubbling inside me?" Grandfather Riaz smiled and handed Armin a chisel. "Come, let's carve this piece of wood together. Every time you feel anger building, take a deep breath and carve a stroke. Think about what you're feeling and why. Let your hands guide your mind." For the next hour, Armin worked with the chisel. As he carved, he thought about the market scene. With each stroke, his thoughts became clearer. By the time the carving was done, a small, intricate bird, Armin realized that Aman's words didn't define him. His anger had been a knee-jerk reaction to his pride being hurt. The next day, Armin returned to the market. When Aman tried to provoke him again, Armin simply smiled and walked away. The onlookers were surprised, and Aman was left speechless. Later, that evening, Armin shared the incident with his grandfather. Riaz smiled proudly. "You see, my boy, true strength lies in controlling yourself, not others. Anger can be a tool if you use it wisely, to reflect, to grow, and to protect what truly matters." Like and share this story if it inspired you to channel your emotions wisely and discover the power of patience and self-control. Meet Ava, a young woman who dreamed of gliding through water like a dolphin, her strokes graceful and powerful. But there was a catch. Ava was terrified of water. A childhood incident had left her with a deep fear of drowning. But the beauty and freedom of swimming always captivated her. Ava battled with self-doubt, often feeling her fear made her unworthy of pursuing her dream. She had a social pressure where friends and family, though well-meaning, would unintentionally belittle her dream, suggesting safer pursuits. Ava took the first attempts by signing up for beginner swimming lessons was a monumental step. Ava's first plunge into the pool ended in panic and tears, leaving her questioning if she should quit. One day, Ava came across a motivational story of a Paralympic swimmer who overcame immense challenges to achieve greatness. This sparked something within her, a determination to conquer her fear one step at a time. Ava started by standing at the shallow end of the pool, gradually immersing herself more each day. She learned to float, trusting the water to hold her. A kind and patient coach, Mia, helped Ava replace fear with technique, teaching her breathing exercises and mindfulness. Ava visualized herself swimming confidently, using positive affirmations to counter her inner critic. After months of perseverance, Ava entered her first local swimming competition. Her strokes weren't just strong, they told a story of resilience and courage. She won not just medals, but also the admiration of everyone who witnessed her transformation. So, friend, Ava's journey taught her that fear is not a barrier but a stepping stone. She learned that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to face it head-on. Ava now shares her story with others, inspiring them to chase their dreams no matter how daunting. Her message? Dive into your fears, and you might just find your wings. If Ava's story inspired you, like, share, and let someone know they can conquer their fears too.